And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truths and around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, health, nutrition, and over 80 other show categories of consumer advocate content. We're here to help you win in any marketplace. We want to engage, and best way to engage us is at our website, consumerqb.com. Just submit the form at consumerqb.com. Pull out your smartphone, save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
813-670-7372. We're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. Over 80 show categories. We've got attorneys that come on the show. We've got all types of different experts that are going to bring some great information for you and help you be a consumer advocate. We are going to be your consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. And let's go around the horn now. Make our introductions. Gary Hallock, he's in the house. WeInsure, he's a territory owner of WeInsure. Welcome in, sir.
Good morning, Brandon. Look forward to seeing you again. June 1st, start of the hurricane season, so we're going to talk about hurricane preparedness. Yeah,
absolutely. Insurance is such a valid topic this time of year. Let's make sure we get reviews done. Let's make sure we're being proactive in that space. It's such an important space. Also, making his debut to the Consumer Quarterback Show, Julian Correa. He's the CEO of KnightSpeed Moving. Welcome in, Julian.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm really happy to be here. Today, I'm going to be sharing, so along with hurricane season, it's also moving season. So we all know how stressful that can get. I'm going to take you through through my experience, basically, how important it is to choose a moving option that fits your needs. Kind of go over what to look for in movers, how to avoid hidden fees, and most importantly, how to save time and money on your move.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, welcome to the show. MJ Martinez in the house, CEO, Private Investigator, Advantage PI. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thank you, Brian. Brandon.
That's okay. I get Brian a lot. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's the one I said. Call me what you want.
I've been going on 3 hours of sleep for the last probably 4 days. So.
Are you on a stakeout? You got a stakeout going?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, that's an interesting business you have there, MJ, helping people, when it comes to these types of, investigation strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. We're out. Bottom line is we're out here trying to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at a lot of different, we'll dive deeper into these things, but you talk about there's corporate applications. Of course, the most relevant that most people think about is divorce or relationship investigations. But, 26 year law enforcement history, and been doing private investigation for a long time as well. So welcome in.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate your expert contributor knowledge here that you bring to the show.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, so we always start off with a little personal development. We want you to call an audible out there. Got Peyton Manning helping us with that audible. So we do a lot of personal development here on the show. I'm a published author and a professional speaker, and I MC events. So if you're a corporate out there, I'd love to talk to you about some of that. But what we talk about a lot is the ability. We all have these self-limiting beliefs at some point in our life, in a career, and the habits of wealthy people is what I want to talk about today. And when you look at new immigrants, when they come to the country, and just the amount of hunger and the drive that they have, whether it's to send money back home, to forge their own life and just grow the wealth. I mean, let's think about how appreciative and happy and grateful we all should be to be living and breathing in the best country, in the best city, in the best country in the United States of America here. It's the best wealth generation, income engine that's ever been generated on planet Earth here. So when you look at a lot of times, immigrants are hungrier than people that are born in the United States in many cases. And so we are in a wealth creation system. So the idea is in business or entrepreneurship, as you find a need and you fill it. You add more value, you serve others at a higher level than the next guy, and you consistently look to reinvent yourself. How can you reinvent? How can you add more value to the customer that you're serving? So what you want to think about is developing rich habits versus poor habits, and getting rid of those self-limiting beliefs. When I do public speaking engagements, I'll hold up a rear view mirror and I'll say, check out this rear view mirror here. And the idea is that it's about a 1/100th of the size of a windshield. So when you're driving a vehicle, you're looking out the windshield, you're looking forward, you're projecting into the future, and then you're going to still look at that rear view mirror from time to time just to kind of check in and see how far you've come. But I think too many people spend too much time focusing on the past, not letting go of those limiting beliefs that have been set in year after year. And think about it when you're a child. A lot of times you start off your life, you're so creative and you're just curious and you're looking for all these different things to do. You're getting into everything, and your parents are consistently saying, no, you're too small. No, get down from there. No, don't do that. And that's what happens. I think we carry that over into our teen years and into adulthood sometimes. So we want to let go of those limiting beliefs. Focus on the power of the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. I talk a lot about the 80-20 rule, and the focusing on the 20% of the task, the responsibilities, the proactive activities that you can do on a daily basis that's going to generate 80% of your success, 80% of your prosperity, and it's going to help you move that ball down the field faster and score more touchdowns in life. So there's your 2-minute drill. You're audible. Let's go ahead and jump into this great content here today. Gary Hallock back in studio. Insurance and home, auto, especially hurricane season now. So many things to consider, Gary.
Oh, exactly, Brandon. You know, one of the big things that people don't understand is there are 2 deductibles on your insurance. If your house burns down, there's 1 deductible, or if the hurricane season hits and there's a hurricane, there's a 2nd deductible. Normally in Florida, it's 2% of what is your dwelling is insured for, your home is insured for. So you have a $300,000 home, 2% is $6,000. So, you know, the last hurricane that hit Florida was Hurricane Hermine. Yeah. I was thinking of Harry Potter when I saw that. So,
Yeah.
And it cost, you know, there was $550 million worth of damage caused by that hurricane. And it was a pretty small hurricane that came. It hit Pasco County, $150 million. And a lot of the damage actually came from flooding. The heavy rains, water forced up under the floorboards. You know, people didn't even have water coming in their house. It was coming through the walls and it was coming up through the floor. So again, the homeowner's policy does not protect you for that. So making sure you're adequately insured. And, you know, again, once a hurricane gets formed, most of the time it's too late to get new insurance. It actually can affect closings on homes. So if you are closing during hurricane season, as you've probably experienced, make sure you have your policy in force with an effective date on it before a hurricane enters the box, as so they say.
That proverbial box that's out there, it has dotted lines on a screen that says, nope, you can't bind insurance. We're putting this whole process on hold until the hurricane either hits or misses, and then you can go ahead. Now, with that scenario that you outlined before, where the flood, we've all seen that kind of where the water just magically appears either through like a concrete slab or seeping in through the walls. So let's outline that again for our listeners. So that would not be covered under regular homeowners. That's going to need to be a flood policy, or
most likely yes. Again, every company is a little bit different, but that would technically be considered flood under the flood policy. I know there's been some disputes. You know, it reminds me back of, you know, when insurance policies first started, it was 1 page long, and now they're 50, 60 pages long. Mm-hmm. And I think what happens is as claims go through, they continue to add additional language. So you do definitely need to review your policy, make sure how would that be covered. How would the claim be handled, and does it make sense to have a flood policy along with your homeowner's policy? Technically, every house in the United States is in a flood zone. You're either in a very preferred flood zone, which means once every 100 years, once every 500 years, or you're in what they would call an AE flood zone, which is 1 in 100, 1 in 50, where you have a much higher likelihood of flood damaging your home.
And if you're coastal, that's going to be referred to as a velocity area.
VE flood zone, also it's similar to the AE flood zone. I know we talked last time about elevation certificates and private flood. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at that. If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, Platinum MVP Realty, a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. And we're talking with Gary Hallock. He's a territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert here. We brought him on the show. We want to educate, entertain, enlighten, and we want to engage you. So if you have any questions about insurance, we'd love to hear from you either on our website, consumerqb.com. Submit the form. There's a contact form there. The emails will come directly to myself and Anthony, our show producer, and we're going to make sure we get right back to you and answer your questions. Also, you can call or text our Consumer Advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. That's a Tampa number at 813-670-REQB. Gary, also, on this insurance topic, I think it's important for everyone to get at least at minimum an annual review.
Oh, exactly. There's some new policies that are coming out that have vanishing deductibles on the hurricane premium. So people that are willing to take more risk up front and then have a 5-year vanishing deductible on the hurricane premium may make sense for them. Again, if you start off with a 5% deductible and it disappears over 5 years, and you do have to be prepared for that, especially if a strong hurricane comes in and damages your home, $15,000, $20,000. But if you have the policy in force for 4 or 5 years and then get hit by a hurricane, it could cost you nothing out of pocket in the event of a hurricane. Yeah,
and when we come back after this break, I want to talk about how the process of a claim actually goes through. You're dealing with adjusters, you're dealing with attorneys potentially. I mean, there's all these different things. Let's clear that up for our listeners. And we're also going to bring Julian Correa into the conversation. He's the CEO of KnightSpeed Moving, and also MJ Martinez coming up as well, CEO, Private Investigator, Advantage PI. Great feel-good story for you today. Korean War veteran receives high school diploma 6 decades later, and also we have the top 5 beer producing countries, the top 5 of anything. So we've got some great content coming up for you. So we'll see you on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial.
Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, The Business Journal. We're looking for inventory. Attention sellers. We need more inventory to sell. If you're a seller on the fence thinking about selling your property, we want to hear from you. Free comparable market analysis at 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372. Check out consumerqb.com.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 50,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Over half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
We're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP Realty, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Over 4 years on air now, helping you win in any marketplace. That's my number one goal. And we go against the nonsense out there in the mainstream media. We provide you the timely truth, centered around 80 different categories of consumer advocate content. We want to engage you at consumerqb.com and help you win with no matter what you're facing out there. We could hook you up with 7 or 8 different types of attorneys specializing in different areas of the law. We've got CPAs, financial advisors, insurance experts, mortgage experts, finance experts, so many different folks that can help you. That's the goal of the show. So we want to engage you. So please reach out. And also we have an opportunity June 15th. We are also having a gratitude party. If you're interested in learning more about our show, we're looking for business partners out there, business owners, business partners that might be interested in coming down and checking us out, watching us record a show, maybe heading over to Brio, our official restaurant partner over here at the International Plaza. Big shout out to Brio Restaurant. Awesome white tablecloth, excellent food, and right here, conveniently located at the International Plaza in Tampa Bay over there. So go check them out in Brio. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and they're going to take you up. They do have that offer, MJ, you're referring to earlier. They got that free water with lemon. All you have to do is mention the real estate quarterback sent you. They're going to take care of you, man. And then they follow that up with some great food, some great appetizers. Man, it's good stuff over there. Coming up in the show, we got the top 5 beer-producing countries. We're going to talk about that, so you can guess who's drinking the most beer out there. And then also a great feel-good story coming up. Korean War veteran receives high school diploma 6 decades later. And right now we're in studio here. We're talking with Gary Hallock. He's an insurance expert. WeInsure. He's the territory owner for the whole state of Florida, South Florida.
Tampa Bay area,
Bay Area.
Pinellas, Hernando, Pasco, and Hillsborough counties.
Nice, yeah, big area, man. Pinellas, people don't realize Pinellas is one of the most densely populated. I think it is the most dense populated county in the whole state, right?
I believe it is, and they have some of the biggest issues with insurance too at this time.
They do, yeah.
And the flood insurance has been a huge issue for Pinellas County.
Let's walk through that. Before the break, we talked about how when you do, let's say, worst case scenario plays out, you have some type of a flood issue, or maybe just an insurance claim, theft, whatever it might be, fire. Let's walk them through that process, Gary.
Well, claims can start something as simple as a hose breaking in your house. One of the number one claims is internal water damage, a pipe breaking under the sink. And the first thing you need to do, and I would tell everyone, immediately go out and find out where your water shutoff is. So
Yes.
You come home, there's water on the floor, immediately turn off your water. A lot of the carriers actually have language that says it's your duty as the insured to make sure you stop the claim from progressing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you leave the water running and you go out and go to Publix and try to get your claim covered through Publix. We'll have that in a minute here. Through MJ, but your duty is to stop the claim and minimize the damage and immediately call your carrier. Because again, sometimes you'll get someone to come out there and they won't have your best interest at heart. Not saying that most insurance companies they'll try to do the right thing. Again, everyone's got issues with carriers. Everyone's got a friend that has an issue with a claim. But most of the time, I say most carriers are very genuine in their process and do try to take care of you. So immediately call them. And most companies require that they be notified within 72 hours. If it's longer than that, they can deny the claim for failure to disclose the claim.
Yeah, and then you get into the adjusters coming in and that type of process, and it's back and forth. But that's why we want you reaching out to Gary here, just to check it up, understand what you currently have, what options there are. Sometimes you can play with that deductible payment versus the premium. The higher deductible, the lower the premiums, that type of scenario. So Gary Hallock, territory owner, WeInsure, the best in the business when it comes to the insurance areas as well, home, auto, and the like. So Let's go ahead and bring Julian into the conversation. Julian Correa, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So welcome in the studio, man. And when you look at this, when we first met, I just had to say, I'm impressed. You guys, you're a young hustler. You're growing the company, and the backstory is pretty cool.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we started. I started by myself over at UCF. I was in an internship at the time, and I was really unhappy with the work. I mean, I nailed it down to getting all of my administrative work done on Monday, and the rest of the week I was sitting there watching YouTube videos. And that's when the idea popped up. I started really just, with flyers, just that small-time hustle, getting my first move under my belt. And, fast forward 4 years, I decided to take it full-time, and now we service 3 major areas in Florida.
Nice. And those 3 major areas are?
The Tampa area, Orlando is our main operation, and then South Florida as well. We will service Southwest Florida. We just don't have enough volume for me to call it an official branch there.
That's awesome, man. So I love that entrepreneurship story. So you're in school, you're finishing up the degree. Your thought process is, hey, I can make a little extra money starting a moving company. You started the moving company, and then you get to that point where you got some money flowing in, things are looking good, and you just make that leap, man. You make the leap. Walk me through your thought process at that time.
So, I started, the company officially opened in 2013, and it wasn't until late 2015 where I had kind of that fork in the road, like crisis moment where I really wasn't making enough to even sustain my own salary. So I ended up taking another job, and that conflicted with who I was. I mean, I've always wanted to do my own thing, work for myself. So I decided, and I've had the positive influence of some friends that have been in business, that have gone through fundraising and have already had some success. So that's when I asked myself, if these guys are capable of doing it, what's stopping me? And it was just like what you were mentioning earlier, the self-limiting belief of not being able to do it. Just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't do it. Yeah. So it was just really, a ton of research and a ton of, trial and error.
I like that. You learn as you go.
And in 2016 is when we raised some funds, and we decided to take it full time. I hired a good buddy of mine from high school who was kind of bouncing around here and there. And I told him about the opportunity. He loved it. And since then, we've both been going at it every single day.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. Julian Correa here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and Platinum MVP Realty. So, yeah, let's talk about that. So you're getting this thing growing, you're rocking and rolling, you got some income coming in. Talk us through the growth process. I mean, you have to manage a lot of different aspects of a business.
Yeah, well, especially with something so labor intensive. So one of our biggest challenges is finding good people and getting them sufficiently trained to actually be able to go out and so for you as a customer to trust them in your home. So we found that hiring college students was always great from the very beginning. And recently we've been recruiting from ROTC organizations or athletic groups or any organizations in school where we know the guys have qualities that we're looking for, which essentially is somebody that's good-hearted. That's generally somebody that you want in your home. 2, somebody who's honest. Because, mistakes happen, especially in moving where there's so many variables. Like, there's things that may happen. I think one of the most important things in a moving company is how they handle any situation like that. And then disciplined. So somebody who's going to show up on time, and that's something that us as a company is really important. We always answer the phone, which is something fairly uncommon. I mean, I'm sure you guys can all relate in all your industries.
Yeah, business in general. And absolutely. And so answering the phone, the basics, showing up on time, being disciplined. The integrity is something I like. So when you're moving, there's a position where some things could disappear. So that's an important process as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we take the most pride in is like mistakes do happen. Things do get scratched. They get dropped. If something's missing, I mean, it's never something that we're trying to hide or whatever. So whatever the problem is, we always just go above and beyond to fix it.
Yeah, I like that. And so now that you're up and running, you got Tampa Bay rocking here, getting some orders, got things happening. Let's talk about some of the do's and don'ts. What have you found over the last 4 or 5 years that you've found that, hey, here's some common mistakes that people make?
Mm-hmm. Well, the number one thing is people usually underestimate the move in general, what it's going to take in terms of prep and what the day of. So I think the number one, the most important thing is for you to choose the option that best fits your needs. So first, you need to take a look at your budget, see how much you're willing to spend for the convenience of a service, because this is something that you're asking somebody to transport everything you own from one place to another. So it's never going to be as cheap as most people think. You have 2 options basically. You could do it yourself. And that, if you can still convince your old buddies from college to come help you out and lift your stuff, good luck with that.
You find out who your friends are, right?
Exactly.
I think they wrote a country song about that, You find out who your friends are.
So you could do it yourself. I mean, it'll roughly, fortunately, there's companies out there for that, so they'll rent you a truck. You can go out to Penske or U-Haul, run you somewhere on average, a local move, about $100. and kind of do it yourself. I don't personally recommend that for a few reasons. Number one, your buddies that you asked to help you probably aren't going to show up.
Yeah.
So that's for starters.
They might be hungover.
Yeah, exactly. And then, even though moving sounds like something relatively easy, just throw the stuff in the truck, throw it out, unload it, it's really not as simple as it seems. And it is important to know that you're not a professional unless you've had some kind of experience there. So, I mean, anything from injury to like damaging your furniture, a lot of things can happen in that. So your other option is, if you really would just want the convenient way out, is to hire professional movers.
Yep.
And you're going to want to go by, I always say to everybody that asks, who should I use, is go by a personal referral, somebody that you know, somebody that you trust. A lot of times your realtor or your leasing agent or any point of contact of, somebody that's been helping you through your home buying process, something that you're about to move.
Yep.
If they have a preferred mover or they work with somebody, I usually say go with somebody that's, had them referred multiple times versus, maybe your friend had one good experience, but the company's got a 2.5 star, rating online.
Right.
So really you want to look out for, you want to ask for a referral. And then the number one thing with moving is these hidden fees that a lot of moving companies will have. It's like the symptoms and the pharmaceutical commercials,
Yeah.
where there's a nice young lady riding a bike with her golden retriever. Meanwhile, they're telling you that you could die from this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really some of those things are distance charges, elevator charges, stairs charges.
Yep.
Things like big item charges. So you really want to look out for that. A lot of moving companies will give you a free in-person estimate. So what you want to do is make sure that the company that you're hiring is willing to come out, give you the time that it's expected to take. And then obviously look for their reviews, look for their ratings, look what people are saying about them online.
Absolutely. Yep. More from Julian coming up, as well as MJ Martinez here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We also have our top 5 today, the top 5 beer producing countries in the world. And we also have a great feel-good story. Korean War veteran receives high school diploma 6 decades later. More from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at the University of South Florida, and longtime quarterback on the sports teams. My dad was a coach, and now I look at myself as the quarterback on our team at Platinum MVP Realty, quarterback on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we are quarterbacking introductions to all of our expert contributors, over 80 show partners that we've aligned and we vetted. We bring on the show to bring expert advice to help you with whatever you might be facing out there. We'd love for you to check out our YouTube channel. A lot of great video content there, as well as our podcast on iTunes, facebook.com/Consumer Quarterback Show, and also at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter. And you can find our show streaming live as well on WeBeam TV at 10 a.m. now, and also 5 p.m. drive time here, helping you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show. Big shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you let them know Brandon Rhymes sent you. You've got the REQB code available to you, 10 to 20% discount off your room stay. And some of my listeners have been taking us up on that, and they're getting a great rate over at a beautiful hotel. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace, expansive luxury suites overlooking the Intracoastal Waterway. You also have views of the Gulf of Mexico on the other side, and it's a beautiful boutique-style hotel on St. Pete Beach, Mediterranean attitude. The Castile restaurant is awesome. Check them out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3701 Gulf Boulevard. Big shout-out to the Hotel Zamora, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, and we are going to be talking about the top 5 beer-producing countries. That's our top 5 today. And we also have a great story here. The Korean War veteran receives high school diploma 6 decades later. So that's great content for you coming up in our Tell Me Something Good segment. And in studio today, Gary Hallock. He's the territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert, as well as Julian Correa, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and MJ Martinez. He's CEO, private investigator, Advantage PI, AdvantagePI.com, and he's coming up just a couple minutes away. But we're going back to Julian right now. Julian Correa here, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving. So what else, when we talk about, I think we kind of left off talking about tips, things to avoid. What else would you see out there? I know, and I can definitely sympathize and empathize with people out there who've underestimated their move. And you're out there, it's 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night trying to finish up that move. And you finally say, man, we're going to have to come back tomorrow and finish this thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
or get no sleep. So, yeah. So what else are you seeing out there?
Okay, so the most important thing that you're going to want to do is really save. What you want to do is save time and money on your move. The way to do that is really over prepare. So what you want to do is pack like 3 to 6 weeks before the move. Kind of do it little by little. Start doing it on the weekends. Start with packing the stuff that you're not going to use. Start doing your books. Start doing kind of the general stuff like that. And that's a perfect time to declutter.
Yes.
Something that's going to save you time when you have a lot less stuff for the movers to move. And also, I was just talking to him about it, is have a garage sale. It's something that most people don't think about, but a lot of times if you sell a lot of the stuff that you don't need, you'll make enough to cover the cost of your move a lot of times.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I like that idea of decluttering. When you think about decluttering, there's 3 different ways. We've had some organizers on the show, Christina Carden, also with the show, but we talk about, you come up with 3 bins. You got one that you're going to donate to the church or some type of a good cause. You got one that you're going to keep, but you need to reorganize it. And then you got one for trash. So go heavy on the trash one would be my recommendation. Sometimes you look at, and that's a whole phenomenon, I think. You look at the moving business, and you look at storage in the United States of America. Storage facilities are one of the hottest real estate investments because it's such low overhead, and it's just, once you have the long run setup, you got people storing their junk and they don't even go and see it year after year. They're like, how many times have you went and seen that storage thing?
Yeah, it's real estate without the tenant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely crazy.
And they got shows on it. What you pay money and you can bid, buy all the stuff. People left it in there, didn't pay their bill.
Yeah.
So you bid on what you're guessing is going to be in there, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those shows.
Yeah, this we were talking about the garage sale. These apps now, like OfferUp, Facebook has one.
Yep.
Many of these apps, they're tremendous. I mean, they really work.
Yeah.
As far as reaching people.
Yeah.
Right away.
I know we got,
Instantly.
we're in the process, my fiance, we're in the process of building a house on, in Pinellas County on a lake, and talking to, and speaking of those marketplaces and different things, Lindsay's been doing some of that. And I said, wait, we still got 8 months till we move. I don't want to be moving this stuff 2 and 3 times. Oh, it was a good deal, babe. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, but yeah, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, and Julian Correa, official moving partner. Let's go and bring MJ Martinez into the conversation, private investigator here in Tampa Bay. Now, MJ, thanks for being a longtime friend of the program, man. I just love the content that you bring, the different perspective you bring, whether we have a family law attorney, Joe Kearns, in studio, if we have Sean Yesner, bankruptcy law, all types of our attorneys that come on, you seem to be able to play well in that box.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. I had that plan when I came in here today.
Yeah.
But it's completely blown out of the water. I got a different plan.
There you go. The ability to call that audible, man. You got Peyton
right.
Manning.
I was a QB back in the day.
Yeah. I can tell.
Yeah. With Mr. Hallock, Gary here with his insurance, I do a lot of work for property type insurance claims. We were kind of just bantering a little before the break, and pets.
Yeah.
People's pets. They don't understand the liability that they have for their pets.
Okay.
Sometimes these pets, they don't even necessarily have to bite the person. They could, you could have an altercation. You could be at a park and you trip over somebody's pet. Then, that person gets hurt, twists an ankle, breaks an arm or wrist, something like that. Then they could extract that out through litigation and file a claim against your homeowner's policy.
Wow.
So I've worked many types of cases in that regard.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I want to commend our new inductee here, Mr. Julian Correa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been inspirational to see. I like seeing young men or people in general taking it upon themselves to make their own way.
That's right.
That's the American way. That's just what you need to do.
Capitalism at its best.
Work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, Florida is tremendous with so much growth going in here, people coming in and out. You're in a really good spot as far as moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I just had a case I was discussing then too, that we needed a mover expeditiously in a domestic violence situation to move this person, in hours. And I was able to secure some movers to do that, basically pack up their, within 3 or 4 hours, their whole life had,
wow,
transferred to another location.
Uh-oh.
But it needed to be done correctly,
Right.
And so I found the right people to do that, but it was important. So
yeah, that is when you look at moving, man. It's a challenging aspect of life.
Yeah,
and you sell real estate, and there's already things that happen, in the real estate process, the mortgage process, last minute documentation changes. So we want to make sure that if it comes down to a moving decision, Julian Correa, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving, as the choice for the Consumer Quarterback Show listeners out there. So what else? I heard some great stories going through as well, MJ, before the show. What was going on in the green room there? I heard some.
We were just talking about trying to figure out certain connections with cases and stuff like that. It was of interest. We're trying to figure out, as I talked about the pet claims that came to mind, somebody else, slip and falls on people's properties.
That's right.
are typically can be litigated through somebody's insurance claim. Sometimes we had a particular case where somebody had cut their finger off at their
that's right. So they cut their finger off.
Yeah, so they tried to double dip. It was kind of a weird case, but they went to a very renowned grocery store chain and took that finger and tried to place it at another location and claimed the injury was there. So we were, that was a kind of a drawn out investigation involving testimony of witnesses, and neighbors and things like that. And we were able to kind of identify that case. So that was an interesting case.
The manager came out and said,
"Bye, Felicia."
He said, "No,
bye, Felicia."
Don't try that one.
Yeah. you see it every day. It's funny on the news. Or I'll see feeds on social media of people in their false claims or salacious claims. I saw one just recently where a girl was working in an office and a fire, not a extinguisher, but a fire sprinkler head had fallen. It fell to the floor, hit her desk. She laid there. She looked at it for a few minutes, and then she looked around, and then she picked it up and started beating herself on the head.
Trying to make it look like a hit her on the head.
I was like, Dang. This is amazing.
It's very nice.
Nice try. That was a nice try, but no.
Right. Fortunately, the office had a camera that was ongoing watching their staff. So, yeah. I mean, Big Brother's everywhere now.
I had a similar, it was through a friend of a friend type of deal. They had a cleaning company, and they said, yeah, the person walked out of the elevator and faked like a fall and tried to say that they didn't have the signs out, but they clearly had the slippery when wet signs.
Right.
It's like this litigious society we're in. And,
yeah.
People look for it, and you're on camera. Sometimes you don't even know you're on camera.
This is America, right? Anything can happen.
Anything.
Fortunes change overnight. So you go to another country and this nonsense does not happen.
Exactly.
You go to the UK and you have a slip and fall. There's no, tort law or negligence law that's there to protect you.
Yeah.
People don't even file. You don't see ads of lawyers, at your doorstep.
Oh yeah.
Knowing what's going on. So here in America, it's be fortunate. I'm glad you have an opportunity to,
For sure.
recoup.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're going to jump into the top 5 beer producing. We're going to go into our top 5, the top 5 beer producing countries. We're also going to talk about an awesome story of a Korean War veteran receiving a high school diploma 6 weeks later, and more from our expert contributors here. Giving a big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Bill Bunkley here.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. This segment is brought to you by Healthy Gourmet. Meal plan starting at $90 a week. Optimal fuel, optimal performance. Big shout out to Felicia Lacaille, CEO and founder of Healthy Gourmet. Organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. They deliver. I love it when Monday, Wednesday, Friday rolls around. I get a whole new order of these awesome meals, organic food, great food put together. Warm it up on the grill top there and have an awesome meal that's prepared, ready to go. And that way I'm not running into these fast food stores, scrambling for the next meal. And Healthy Gourmet, the best in the business. Meal plan starting at $90. So what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? We'd love to hear from you for any of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Submit the form at consumerqb.com. You can also call us or text our hotline at 813-670-7372. Give us a call here, 813-670-7372. You can call or text that number, and we're going to help you with whatever you're looking for. 80 different categories of consumer advocate content, business and finance, health, nutrition, so many ways that we can help you here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're back here in studio. Today in studio, we got Gary Hallock. He's the territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert. We got our official moving partner, Julian Correa, CEO, KnightSpeed Moving, and also MJ Martinez. He's a private investigator here in Tampa Bay, Advantage PI, AdvantagePI.com. So let's go back to MJ here. So, MJ, what else are you seeing out there, man? I know you do a lot of divorce situations. You do some corporate.
Yeah, when I came in here, I was thinking today maybe I'd just talk a little bit with my site, AdvantagePI.com. My company's Advantage Unlimited Investigations, Inc. But I have other sites, too. One in particular, it's called FindACheatingSpouse.com. There's 46 points on there to take a look at. Typically, if some of these things are occurring and you see them, there are red flags that may incline you to
going back into the
further.
gym. Oh, I'm going back to the gym, baby. I just want to get in shape. I'm going to the tanning bed. I'll check you later.
Right. They come up with some new moves, moves that you weren't really anticipating.
They're pulling up YouTube trying to learn the latest dance moves.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I wouldn't say it was dance moves.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole plethora of them on there. I'd go through them all. There's some of them are kind of funny, but I've developed them over the years. This page has been out probably 10 years. I've had my domain name almost since the inception of the internet. Wow. So I've kind of evolved with this process. So it's really been an interesting path, now to say the least. I mean, what really surprises me in business, I don't know how long you've been in business, but Google has really managed this whole process silently. Now you're, they're in a position that, quite frankly, to, the free searches that you think you search, and now they can manage the whole thing, and you basically pay to play.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Too.
And any of the other search engines are really irrelevant at this point.
Now, you look at where it's going to, virtual reality, the voice recognition, Alexa, right. Turn this on, turn that off. I mean, it's a battle, man. You look at Amazon, you look at Mac, Apple, some of these big tech companies, man, they definitely have a lot of clout there.
We're worried about government, but we really need to be more worried about
Silicon Valley.
Social media and the internet.
So let's go ahead and
I was just saying, because really, you really have to think about it. They are inside your head.
Yeah.
Everything you search.
They know what you're typing before you end up typing it.
Yeah, when you consent to be on Facebook, you consent them that then they look through all your contacts in your phone, all your email addresses, all your searches. Everything is categorized, and you show up somewhere, they know, bang, there you get a little notification on your phone.
All right, hey, we got a top 5 I want to get to, and we got this story I want to get to. So let's go ahead and do the top 5 beer producing countries. Who's drinking the most beer out there, Gary? Who would be your guess?
I spent 2 years in Germany. I'd have to go with Germany.
Germany is on the list. Number 4 goes to Gary. Julian.
You say Netherlands.
Netherlands is not on the list, my friend. I had to give you the buzzer there.
Wow, really?
MJ, who's the top 5 beer producing countries in the world? Germany's out.
Japan?
Japan is not on the list.
I was going out and
back to you, Gary.
I have to go with America.
America, United States is number 2 on the list. Wow. Absolutely, you got that one.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Hey, we're winning in beer, okay?
Winning beer.
Julian?
He took my answer.
Think about population. Think about population size.
China.
Boom, you got it.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. Come on, give it to me.
Mexico.
South America somewhere.
I was going to say Mexico.
Mexico's number 5. You got it. Another South American country.
Brazil.
You got it. Boom.
Wow.
We got it. We got the top 5. That was good.
Yeah,
that was nice. Wow. We got it quick. All right, now we're going to jump into our... We're going to tell you something good here. A lot of the negative news out there. We're going to mix it up with something good here. Korean War veteran receives high school diploma 6 decades later, 64 years after leaving high school. Can you read this? Go ahead. Read that.
Where is it?
64 years after leaving high school.
A Korean War veteran finally got his chance to walk across the stage and graduate. Marty Sullivan, 83, received an honorary high school diploma Friday at Newsom High School's graduation. Sullivan missed his own graduation because he went to fight in the Korean War during his junior year of high school. 6 decades later, Sullivan decided to fill out paperwork to receive an honorary high school diploma. The officer asked me if I wanted her to help me get my diploma. I was like, okay, go ahead, Sullivan said. Once he put on the cap and gown and walked across the stage, Sullivan was happy. He went through with it all. When I got this in my hand, I said, okay, I guess it was worth it, Sullivan said as he showed off his diploma. Florida offers a high school diploma to any eligible military veteran who left high school to serve the country. Sullivan hoped other veterans would take advantage of getting their high school diplomas too. You got the opportunity, and you don't take it. You
darn fool, Sullivan said. All right. Good job, Bray.
Good job.
Summer's here. School's out for the summer, so we're going to have some fun. But, so that's an interesting story. Any comment on that?
Wow. I mean, that's tremendous. At least that's a tremendous opportunity for somebody, who got diverted through life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went back and finished it. I love that. I love hearing the story too. You hear about the elderly lady that got her degree and all these different stories of people going back, getting that degree. And I just love that. Let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, real quick. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Gary Hallock, you're up first.
Well, obviously with hurricane season starting is have a hurricane preparedness kit. A couple things that I never thought of is if you have pets, make sure you add some pet food into your kit. If you have to take them, also keep a copy of your insurance policy inside the kit so you can grab it. If you run, you come back, your house is damaged, you can immediately file that claim.
That's right. I get the big bottles of water too, so always this time of year I have an extra 15 of them in my garage ready to go because water is the first thing you're going to need, guys. All right, Julian, top tips, things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice.
Yeah, so for your move to go as fast as possible, I'd say, taking it a step above from labeling your boxes is if you color code your boxes, you'd be surprised how much faster that results in your move being, because the guys, you got to think, they're real tired after the load. Reading is not something that they want to do at that time. So, the blue stuff's going to the kitchen, red stuff's going there. That'll speed stuff up tremendously.
Good idea.
I like that.
Another one is, assume that you're hiring professionals. So try not to coach and really try and stay out of the way as much as you can when your movers are doing their thing. Usually there's a reason why they're doing something. Maybe they're taking a little slower time carrying something or whatever. Usually it's just to avoid anything bad happening. If you just let the movers do their thing, it'll go a lot faster. And on the topic of pets, since everybody brought it up, having your stuff nice and clean, it's something that goes really unnoticed, and it's a big problem. It's pet hair. A lot of people are allergic to pet hair, and to all my pet lovers, I mean, I have a dog at home, so I get it.
Yeah.
But cleaning that stuff up goes a long way, because when the movers are in there carrying a couch full of hair, getting allergies, getting rashes, it just throws off the whole energy of the move and whatnot.
Absolutely. Real quick, MJ, top tips.
Tips: if you need a background check, if you're having something in your relationship, if you just need to know some information that you just can't find anywhere else, contact Advantage Unlimited Investigations.
All right, awesome. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as pecking up leftover food, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see in need, and being a force for good in the community. And I'm going to ask my daughter here to close us out for today, Braylon.
Hey, this is Brandon's daughter, Braylon Rhymes, again. And I just wanted to say thanks for listening, and God bless. Have a great day.
All right, we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.